We are Witches Who Podcast.
Hey, Shelby.
Hey, Dee.
Anything weird happened to you lately?
Totally.
Tell me about it.
First of all, if you're watching this video, your eyeshadow matches your sweater in like the perfect way. It's so cute.
It may have been on purpose or not. I cannot confirm or deny.
It's so cosmic, like that purple shade, like that's crazy. Like it also matches our fancy little logo. You look at you just.
I'm on brand.
I'm in freaking plaid. This is. I need to go change.
Yeah. I'm on brand. On brand today.
I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you.
What was the question? Weird. Okay. Actually, this is super weird. So recently, I have been doing this like abundance ritual every day, where I light a green candle. It's like this whole thing. I have a little like a kitchen altar, and I have almonds and my green candle for abundance. There's a lot to it. We can go into how this ritual works later. But every morning at 7 a.m., because 7 is, lucky number 7, the number of abundance. It's also my life path number. So there's like some really cool, we should do an episode on numerology. So every morning, so you do it for 7 days straight, and you do this little like mantra thing, and you're just kind of like aligning into that frequency of abundance, right? Okay, so I started on Sunday, and I don't know what day it is, but I'm a few days into it, right? And yesterday, backtrack a little bit, a couple of days ago, our power went out, which, because we're supposed to record that day. It was a whole thing. And it was a fiasco. And so I'm like, oh my God, in my whole head, I'm like, the universe is working against me because I'm going to have to go live with my mom for a couple of days because it's supposed to be out for 3 days, the power. And I'm not going to get to do this ritual because I'm going to get shamed by my mom or whatever for doing this ritual in her kitchen at 7 a.m. and like all this stuff, which is so dumb because it's literally lighting a green candle. It's not a big deal at all. And, so I'm like all mad because I'm like already the universe is conspiring against me, or it's testing me to see how bad I want this, right? So then that was my thought process. So I was like, no, I'm gonna keep doing it. And then luckily, my husband went and got a generator, and we like were able to kind of stay in our home. We didn't have to leave. So I was like, okay, cool, we got this figured out. Like we're good. And then the next morning, I go up into the kitchen at 7 a.m. right, and I'm about to do my ritual, and the candle is gone.
What?
The green candle, it's sitting in my windowsill, my little kitchen altar. The green candle that I've been using for a few days already was gone. It was just gone. And I'm like, oh, maybe it fell.
Oh, gone? Not like it burned off.
No, it was literally just missing. Like it just vanished.
Okay.
And so then I go and I'm like, okay, it probably fell because it was one of the little like chime candles that didn't really fit in the votive I had or candle holder I had. And so I was like, oh, it probably fell behind like this little like thing I have. So I'm like up on my kitchen counter, like looking over, I pulled everything off. It's nowhere. I'm like, maybe because my sink is right there. I'm like, maybe it fell under the garbage disposal. So I'm like sticking my hand in there, feeling around. And it was disgusting. No. I was like freaking out that whole time, but it wasn't in there. It was nowhere. And still no idea where this green candle went. I even accused my husband. I'm like, where did my green candle go? He goes, why would I touch any of your stuff? He goes, I don't know what's happening over there. And he's like, I don't know what happened to your green candle. Stop asking me. Like, I don't know. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, where did it go? Yeah. Where did it freaking go? Also, like, nobody touches it but
you
me.
Still haven't found it?
No, I had to go get a new one.
Oh, man. I thought the story was going to be like, oh, it was, under the sink or something like that.
No. I still haven't found it. And I looked everywhere. I pulled everything off of my little altar. I put my hand at the freaking garbage disposal. I looked all around under the sink. I'm like,
that's terrifying.
It's weird.
Always putting your hand in the garbage disposal. I'm just like,
I know, like horror story.
All these 90s teenage movies of horror.
Right.
Click in. I'm like, ugh. Well, that is super weird. So do you think like suddenly you'll appear like upstairs in a bathroom?
Well, that's what I'm curious about. I'm like, where is it going to, it's going to turn up somewhere.
Somebody else needed it more than you apparently.
But it's like nobody else had been in my house but me and my husband over that whole period. And you don't open that window. Yeah. Like it's the kitchen window.
How much was left of the candle?
It was like a decent
like
amount.
Half or a little bit less than half?
A little bit more than half.
More than half.
A little more than half.
This is interesting.
Right?
Super weird. Yeah.
So strange.
I'm so curious to know where this candle's going to appear. It's going to happen. You know, your thing that had happened with your ring came back. So maybe you'll find it in your closet. You should go look
with my ring.
Closet. With your ring.
Because I lost it again, by the way.
There you go. Yeah. They're just playing a game.
It's so strange. It's like, is my house haunted? And remember earlier I was like wishing for poltergeist activity. Is this it?
Is true. Maybe this is it. And they're easing you in with a candle before
they show me. I'm like, just look around now. Shit's going to start moving.
No. All right. Well, that was super weird.
It's super weird. So I'll keep you posted on the candle story.
I am curious. I will continue to ask you.
But anyways, so I'm Shelby.
And I am Dee.
And we are Witches Who Podcast. And what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about all the buzzwords. About all the
spiritual buzzwords.
Fancy spiritual buzzwords that all of you, I can assure you, have heard of them and use them. And so have we.
We secretly love.
Yes.
Okay, it's so funny. There are so many buzzwords and phrases and just like all those little things that you hear that are like, oh, that sounds so cool and I want to be a part of that, but I don't really know what it means kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, it totally reminds me of like in Friends when Joey used the thesaurus. Do you remember that? And he was using all the
oh my gosh,
all the
that's
fancy.
So how many words do you say that you don't really know what they mean, but you're like, this sounds like it would go in this sentence?
In thesaurus or just spirituality?
Just in general.
In general, like, yeah, English is not my first language. I'm always asking, what's a noun?
You like say
what's
that one
adjective?
word and you're like looking around.
What does that mean? I don't know words.
I love that so much. There's like always trying to make yourself sound smarter. So you like throw a big word in there and then you like consciously look around. You're like, who's going to call me out right now?
Like, don't really. Oh my gosh. Yes. But hopefully you're like, hoping the group is, a little lesser knowledgeable than you are. So they don't catch it. And they're just like, oh, that was a fancy word.
Like, oh, she's really smart. I'm going to take everything she says seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Awesome. Well, I figured it would be fun to kind of just like, I know we prepared some and then also some separately, right? So like, let's go down the list that we made and then we'll like jump into the other words that we didn't tell each other about.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, so which is our first buzzword?
Okay, so this one's funny. Raising your vibration.
Oh my God.
Okay, I actually have a funny story. When I was a little girl, my mom, my grandma was really in tune. Like she really was really into all the frequency and the vibrations and everything. And I wish I would have been a little bit older before she passed away to have like a good conversation with her, but she's the one that really taught me how to meditate and stuff. But by the time I got to the age where I was really interested in this stuff, like, in my teen years or preteen years or whatever, she had dementia. So I didn't really get to talk to her. But my mom used to say all the time, like, oh, Grammy, Grammy's coming over. She's the one that thinks she can talk to plants, and I'm like, now I'm like thinking about her and she would say like, everything has a vibration. Everything has frequency. Like this table is a frequency that, like molecules are just moving. Yeah. They're just packed closer together, right? That's why it's solid or whatever. But I can like make that make sense now. But back then I was like, oh, Grammy's talking to plants. That's crazy. Yeah. But now I'm like, oh, she used to say everything has a vibration. Yes. And now I'm like, gosh, like I wish I would have been able to talk to her anymore. Anyway, so vibrations.
Vibration, yeah. So raise your vibration. I don't know. I try really hard with the type of work I do to not be too stuck with the buzzwords, but sometimes you just use them because
people know them.
Yeah, people know them. I don't know another way to explain it sometimes. So I was like, But like raising your vibration, also you'll hear around like frequency, which is the same, but we are vibrational beings living in a vibrational planet, speaking a vibrational language. Our words are powerful, and how we feel does have an effect on our everyday life. Yeah. So when we hear, often you'll hear like raise your vibration. Yeah, but what does that mean?
Yeah, what does it mean?
So a lot of times when somebody would say like, yeah, raise your vibrations, like, okay, I don't know what that means. Just like shift how you're feeling, basically, Yeah. So if you are upset because of a certain situation, you have an option. You can just continue to act on that situation, let your emotions take you with that situation, and begin to feel out of circumstance, or you can pause, take a breath, kind of like, okay, hold on, let me step away from the situation so you can look at it from the outside in. And that way, because when we're inside, let's say somebody's in the hospital or somebody died or a relationship ended or you're ready to end some sort of relationship, you can't see quite clearly. You're very like in bed with the current frequency or vibration you're emitting because you're not feeling good, right? If something negative is happening, you're not feeling good. And then sometimes it's really hard to get people out of that not feeling good state. And the way to raise that frequency is just to shift it. Somebody will say, shift the energy, which will be like shift the vibration, shift the frequency. It's like, what can I do to feel better? So we have, I think Abraham Hicks talks about you have 15 seconds to shift your perception and all that. But as soon as something negative, even if it's a loved one passing, it goes immediately into, no, what is this situation going to do to me? Humans, we are just selfish by nature. Yeah. But then we can just shift that. It's like, yeah, I'm going to miss the person. I'm going to miss, their cooking. I'm going to miss their presence. It's like, but let's kind of like relish on the good things that they taught us, or the good things when we begin to think of them like fondly, right?
Kind of sounds like gratitude.
Yes.
Right?
And it's just basically that. If we can, a lot of people cannot get into a gratitude state right away. So I always say, okay, what can you appreciate in this moment?
Like that.
What can you appreciate? Oh, I don't know. Nothing. I can appreciate. I'm like, you're breathing and you're not even thinking about it, even though it's not like conscious breath, it's just like going, but your heart is beating without you having to do anything. You have a force far greater inside you that it's always working for you. So, but again, raise your vibration is often used of like, just raise your vibration. It's like, yeah, but tell me what on earth does
how
that mean?
And why do I want to do that? Yeah.
So, I'm not saying, I should say that, bypass your negative feelings, be pissed, be sad.
You have to work through them.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
get to the higher
work
vibe.
through them. And something that I've been working with, so I'm always like, work through this or work through that. I was like, no, let's working with whatever that may be.
I like that. And thinking about like frequency in general, like certain things are high vibrational frequencies and low vibrational frequencies, right? And so like when you think about like sadness, depression, all of those kind of like low energy emotions, those are low vibrational frequencies, right? And when you think about anxiety, those are extremely high vibrational energies, which isn't necessarily good. So there's like this connotation that high vibe is great. Well, not all the time. You need to be in alignment, which is another buzzword, but you have to be in alignment with the frequency that you're currently operating at, right?
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to be super crazy high up because your vessel isn't built for that. Like that's where anxiety comes in. That's where, looking too far into the future, that's where anxiety comes in, but
not being
super
in
high,
not being in the present moment.
Yeah.
So that's the whole
there's like a
part of the whole thing.
homeostasis piece, like that balance piece where it's like, if we're happy, everything's good, lucky, cool, we're in harmony, we're in balance, we're in whatever, but you don't want to be higher vibe than that necessarily, because then you're looking too far forward and now you're worried and you're anxious and Yeah,
and we know anxiety is that fear of the future, and depression is that fear of the past.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I feel like there's just like such a misconception with that high vibe thing,
Just be high vibe. It's like, yeah, but what does that mean?
Like, I'm super high vibe because I have anxiety. So you guys fight me on that one.
Which is so funny because I think on my email, like my signature in my email, it says love and high vibe.
Yeah, which is great though. Like, I don't know, you want to be high vibe. You don't want to be highest vibe, right? Because then you're like going to vibrate out of your body and turn into mist, and I don't even know. That's what I think about, which is probably not even real, but whatever, it's fine.
Oh my gosh, you're too funny. You're too funny. All right, so that was raise your vibration.
Okay, let's go. Okay, this is my favorite one. You ready? Manifestation.
Oh my gosh, yes. Manifest. You can do it.
Oh
you
my
can
God. It's so overused and so like it's lost its meaning.
I know. It's basically bring about.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, but I don't know.
I think it was some time where it did sell people. And even now, like I'll hear like, learn how to manifest. And I'll turn an eye. I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And maybe because I'm always kind of searching to know like what method are they using. But manifestation is basically, for me, it's just like the bring about. Like how can you make something materialize?
Yeah. I think it kind of goes in line with the the vibration, the frequency that we're talking about, right? I mean, everything is going to come back to that, but like where you're directing your energy, right? Yes. And energy is frequency and is vibration, but like how do you manifest? Okay, cool. Yes. Let's manifest this. Oh, I manifested this. I manifested that. Yeah. Well, how did you do that? I changed my vibrational frequency, right? Like
absolutely.
So it's all like kind of all in line. So like there's so many modalities, so many things that you can do to raise your vibe or whatever. But I also would argue that it starts with awareness, right? Once you're aware of like, hey, hold on, like I want something, which in turn, you're already opening that manifestation channel by saying, I want this. The how, like, yes, the how matters, but just wholeheartedly believing in the fact that you will have that, that's manifestation.
Yeah.
But you have to wholeheartedly believe it. Like I've said, since I was born, I always get what I want. And I still say that.
Yes.
And up until this point, I mean, I'm pretty damn grateful for what I've got. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here right now on a Thursday afternoon. Like this is pretty freaking great.
Yes.
You know? Like
yes. And something right now we were talking about reminded me of something that Albert Einstein had said, that you can't solve a problem from the same energy that it was created. You know? And it's so true, because a lot of the times something happened and it's like, I'm trying to solve it with the same energy that that situation.
It's like, this is, for lack of a better phrase, but like beating a dead horse. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, that was morbid, but
it was. I don't know why people will go beat a dead horse. I would feel so bad.
Doesn't make any sense.
It okay. Yeah, it makes no sense. Well, that's what that means. That it makes no sense. I was like, why would people do that? Like, who saw somebody doing that, or who came up with that phrase? It's kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly. So manifestation really is just getting what you want, going after what you want, opening your vibrational frequency to allow in.
Yeah, to allow,
right?
Yeah, but it's just overused, and a lot of people actually will see something on manifest and actually use the word manifest quite a lot. And this is a way I use it. Like I'll talk to clients, and if they're struggling with something, it just kind of rolls off my tongue, just like, hey, any emotional unprocessed emotion will manifest in a physical form. Yeah. So, it's kind of bring about is going to happen in a physical form.
Yeah.
But yeah, manifestation. Yeah. I think it has a bad rep because it's being overused, and definitely just it's become so popular.
Yeah.
Manifesting candles, manifesting rings, they made a whole, know.
And everybody and their mother has a course about it.
Yeah.
Like, pay $5.99 for this manifestation course, and you'll have everything your wildest dreams can imagine.
And you know what? It's so funny that you mentioned that, because I am sure that all those courses out there do work. All of them.
Yeah.
But nobody shifts their energy or in order to be receptive and actually do the work to make any of those $5.99 or 599 courses work for them. They don't stick with them long enough.
Yeah, there's no consistency or just like a basic understanding. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've totally bought some of those things.
I've done too. I've done it too.
And a lot of them I think skip steps where it's like, hey, like, do these 4 things, cool, but like, why? And also, like, what is it's like, it doesn't explain like what these things are doing or how it's working for you. And then you lose that buy-in where you're like, this isn't doing anything, or this is never going to work. This is dumb, or
absolutely,
which it's probably not. But like, I need to know, for me specifically, the skeptic over here is just like, I need the know-how. I need to know why and how this is going to benefit me, like the nitty-gritty. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah.
I agree. 111% agree. Oh, okay. Well, that was manifestation. What do
Ooh,
we have?
okay. Mercury in retrograde.
Oh, goodness. Blame it on the retrogrades.
Always blaming it on the planets. Okay, so funny story about Mercury in retrograde. It's okay, so retrograde literally just means it's spinning backwards. So it's right. So it's just like a different energy, and it usually just means things are uneasy or things right, and it kind of messes up our magnetic grid a little bit. But Christian, my husband, every time he like sees memes or like whatever, somebody talking about it, and he goes, "Oh, Mercury's in Gatorade again." And it's just like now every single time there's anything about retrogrades, I'm like, Mercury's in Gatorade.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, it just cracks me up.
Mercury retrograde. Yeah, like, you know, how many people out there have seen a meme and astrology because of Mercury in retrograde?
Yeah.
And
It's like the only thing they know about astrology,
I know.
right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing I know about it.
I know. I'm like, I know that I am a Libra, and that's about it.
Yeah, because I'm like, what does the planet Mercury represent?
I don't know.
Exactly.
What does it represent?
I don't know.
Me neither. I'll have to look that up.
Something.
Something.
Yeah.
I kind of want to Google it.
Yeah, right. Go for
I'm
it.
going to Google it. Mercury.
Mercury retrograde. What does the planet Mercury represent? So, like you said, everything when it's spinning backwards, it just means it's like it's slowing down. And did it come up?
Yeah, it says communication, intellect, and the mind.
Oh, yeah. That's why they say don't sign any contracts, don't seal any deals. The communication piece. That makes so sense. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, when I was gonna do that play with our friend, the shaman for Day of the Dead, and it fell through, and she's like, oh, I probably should not have sealed that deal during Mercury retrograde.
Oh my gosh, that makes sense. Interesting.
That is so interesting.
Learned something.
So I guess I'm just gonna keep an eye. Don't go buy a car during Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, seriously. Or maybe do.
Oh, I know. And, yeah, we need some help with that one. But
so funny.
We hear it often. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah. Like, I don't know a ton about astrology, but like when Mercury's in retrograde, I know like things are about to get wonky.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I forget. I'll be like, oh man, it's feeling a little heavy. And then somebody will be like, oh, do you know that Mercury's in retrograde? I'm like, damn. Should I, blame it on the planet or on my own life choices?
Oh, right? That's interesting that you say that, because I think there's so much bypassing that happens too, where it's like people don't take responsibility for their poor actions because like, oh, Mercury must be in retrograde right now, or so-and-so is in this 9th house of the planet, whatever. And that's why I couldn't go to work today or whatever. That's why I
go to work.
Stole this from the convenience store or whatever. Like,
how funny.
I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people blame, like you cannot blame the planets and your astrological sign or zodiac sign or whatever for your poor behavior.
Oh, it's the same thing as like the dog stole my homework.
Yeah.
Right.
Or ate my homework. Yeah.
Yeah. Ate my homework. Oh yeah. The ghost stole your.
The ghost stole my homework.
Yeah. The ghost stole your homework. The dog ate your homework. Yes. No. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not a good excuse.
Okay. What else do we have?
Okay. Sacred feminine and masculine energies.
Oh man. Yeah.
Like I hear that, like the sacred feminine or the divine feminine.
I know that one makes me a little cringy and like,
yeah, me too.
For that. But at the same time, it makes me a little mad because it is important that we do need to honor it is a sacred vessel, who we are. And I feel like it's being taken, out of context and put into all these, I don't know. You think of sacred feminine and you see like this woman half naked in the jungle. And it's like, yeah, she's a representation of a sacred feminine. And I'm like,
this goddess.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, what about me over here eating Cheetos in my flannel? Like,
you're a sacred feminine.
Yeah, exactly. We are the same.
I know. You are the same as this woman that it does not eat the Cheetos and it's against the Cheetos.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, we're not promoting Cheetos.
Yeah,
okay.
We are no way affiliated with Cheetos.
Not at all.
Brand.
And same thing for the masculine. I feel like the masculine, like a lot of people are like, the masculine is rising.
Oh yeah, like the patriarch and
I know. But yeah, I have a lot of feelings with those sacred feminine and sacred masculine.
I think they're both can be toxic, but there also it needs to be a balance of both. Like every
Yes.
single one of us has a polarity. We both need feminine energy and we both need masculine energy, like all genders, right? And like a healthy heaping of both. Yes, we are women, so we are meant to be more in our feminine energy.
Correct.
When we have the support of a man that had this, somebody's gonna crucify me for this, but for the support of a man that is in their full masculine energy, right? And then there's also polarity within each being.
Yeah.
So it's like we work together as a unit. It's not one is better than the other, one is more powerful than the other. It is a solid team. And that happens in a relationship dynamic, and that happens within our singular individual bodies as well, right?
Absolutely.
But it can be taken so far to the extreme. And I think that's where like this feminist movement kind of comes in, is because like men have taken advantage of the weak woman or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, most women are soft spoken, or when you're really in your feminine energy, it's soft and subtle. But there's so much power within that soft and subtleness that doesn't mean you're weak, right?
No, not at all.
And because it's been radicalized, this feminist movement, it's turned into, oh, the masculine, you're so in your masculine, that just means you're, you know, over powerful or egotistical. And it's like, no, like we need a part of our ego. We need that part of our ego that has discernment, that's going to tell us when to not put our hand on the hot stove, right?
Absolutely.
Like that's ego, our reptilian mind.
Yeah.
But we also need to figure out how to be soft leaders.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Sorry,
And
I
you
just got on a soapbox there for a
I know, I
second.
love it. But even like with all that, with the feminine, you can, like I hear often like a man telling a woman, you need to be more feminine.
Ew.
You know, and
That
I'm
makes me
like,
so mad.
and it's like more feminine.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. I was like, do you just want me like in the kitchen baking in order for you to consider that I'm in my feminine? Like, I don't know what
Ew.
I know. That my husband did not say this to me, but I've heard it. Not from
Hold
from
up
him.
here.
Let me just disclose.
Yeah, no, totally.
But I've heard, and it's just like, you just need to be more in your feminine.
Well, what does that mean to you, sir?
Yeah, it's
So do you, actually.
Yeah, I know. But and then like with men, I was like, I hear often, and this I will hear from my husband sometimes. Like he's like, let me be the man.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
because I do realize that I do sometimes operate with the side, because we have that duality of being more like the wanting to take the lead. And it doesn't make me any less feminine if I do want to take the lead. But at the same time, just taking that step back and recognizing that my husband wants to provide.
Yeah.
He wants to be of service as well. He wants to take the lead just because it seems to be easier for me, or is, you know, facilitates, I don't know, deeper harmony instead of the kids kicking and screaming that he's taking the lead on something.
No, it's like he's creating a container for you to flourish, for you to be able to step into all of the beautiful gifts that make you who you are. I think like it's so taken out of context, like in that way of like if somebody were to say like, well, let me be the man, like, you know, your husband and you know what he's saying to you. Whereas so many people would be like, oh my God, he's putting you down, or he's oppressing you. Like, right?
No. And we've gone through that dance in our marriage, because I was coming from a very strong female, like I
girl
had
boss.
to be in my power. So he really taught me of like letting him, you know, just kind of lead the way and letting him take over, and
With you
that
as
it was
his support.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that it was, I'm like, I have the best of both worlds, because I can be completely just, you know, soft and settle, but he also gives me the room to grow and be the divine feminine, you know, the sacred feminine out there. With like, it's like a different energy, not the feminine. It's like, oh, I'm going to be meek and obedient, which actually I have a shirt that says, I'm not the meek and obedient kind.
I love that.
So it's important to see the duality, of course, of the things. And for men to let them be men too, in a way, whatever that means,
like
for
savage,
people.
like
Like, it's like, not, they're not gonna go hunt deer and
Exactly.
bring it, which I think that would be very sexy.
I mean, some do.
That's true. That is true. We just live in California where, well, in Southern California, I don't even know where
They can
here
go
in
fishing.
They can go fishing and bring the fish.
Yes, they bring us fish.
But I have a thing against the fish. Not against the fish, against fishing.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know.
It's okay. There's a whole
anywho.
thing there, but no, I see what you're saying. Like they're providing, right? They're going out there. It's just like, hunters and gatherers. Like females are meant to be the gatherers, the nurturers, the running the household in a way, whereas the man provides and gives the female that support to run those things, right? And vice versa. We provide a home for them to come rest so that they can go out and provide, whatever.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of, I feel like, how like the modern household kind of works, right? And yeah, it's interesting. As you were talking to, I was thinking about a conversation that I had with my husband a little while ago, where I was like kind of at a breaking point, and I was just like, I need a pivot. And I was just kind of at this like place of like desperation almost. Also, I was just being super emotional, like irrationally emotional. And I was in my kitchen, and he's just like holding me, and he goes, I just want to be in service. And that made me see him kind of in a different way, but also like I know that of him, and he means that not just for me, but to me, but just in general. And I like kind of like that, him saying that out loud just like snapped in place of me of like, oh, like our roles are shifting, because for a long time, like I was in that same state of like girl boss, like, work super hard, corporate job, all this crazy stuff. And, whatever. And now our roles have shifted over the last few years of him stepping more, growing more at work, and being more of that provider. And it was a challenge at first. So I needed to hear him say that, I think it was. And it wasn't that I wasn't trusting him to provide or anything else. It was just that like, I didn't know that's what he wanted. But even though I did, I just needed to hear him say like, I just want to be in service. And that changed a lot for me. I was like, okay, like that gave me comfort to be like, okay, I feel so much more empowered now to be in my feminine energy.
And supported, and just like, not necessarily that you needed the permission to, but it's like, hey, I can. Which it's also very interesting, because I think when we are in that like feminine, maybe operating more on the masculine of like having to be the provider, having to do all these things to stay afloat or whatever, we actually dress the part. So our clothing, we are more in the masculine clothing. For those that are in video, you'll see Tucker like you.
He's found
adorable.
a home
He's
underneath
found
our
a
table,
home.
apparently.
And if you're listening on any of the Spotify's or other podcasts, you will go see it on YouTube.
You're gonna want to see this beautiful face.
He's so cute. I love him. Tucker is my spirit animal. I love him. But yeah, you will dress like this part. Everything will feel also more like tight, right? More constriction. Like I see it sometimes, often, like people will think, oh, the power suits. Certain things, like wear the power suits. But
whenever I hear you say the word power suit, I just immediately think of Hillary Clinton for some reason.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, Hillary Clinton's power suit? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. And there's so many women like in government that are playing this role, because it's probably twice as hard. It is twice as hard, or even more if you're a woman of color, to be in those type of roles that were
to be taken seriously.
That were all
male driven.
Yes. So, but you will see even now sometimes women wearing like leggings. I was actually having this conversation with a friend, and she's like, yeah, I'm being more in my feminine and just trying to be more girly and things like that. And it's like, I just can't seem to get out of my black leggings.
I'm wearing black leggings right now.
It's just like, I just can't. It's like, it's for her coming from like a corporate job to being a stay-at-home mom, to trying to she was the breadwinner at her home. The roles have shifted completely when she started having kids. And she's like, I it feels weird for me to put on like some joggers versus some tight, some like leggings. It's like when I'm in like flowy clothes, I don't know who I am.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. And I was like, hey, well, just explore it. You don't have to get rid of all your leggings or tight clothing. She's like, but it just make me like have a certain reaction to the body, like where it's almost like in, you know, when you wrap a baby like a burrito when they're like newborns, like swaddle them so they're tight and they still believe they're safe. That's kind of how she felt with like the tight, you know, leggings all the time. She would wear them all the time.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, interesting.
That is interesting too, like to think about like the identity piece there. Is I totally had to grieve like my identity, like this loss of who I thought I was kind of thing. And that was a long process too. And like, I still feel like I'm going through a little bit of that grieving process, which I think you're always grieving to some capacity. That's just my opinion. But, where you attach yourself to these like personas or these identities and like, you know, the person that, you know, embodies this divine feminine goddess, like that's her identity. But is that truly like authentically her, or is that who she's just wants you to believe she is? Like, who are you showing up for? Right. And like that loss of identity for me of like, you know, being so far into the masculine energy, like it was like my nervous system was so dysregulated because I didn't know like where my safety center was. I didn't know like how to even get back into that safety of the parasympathetic nervous system, right? Of that rest and digest, that like safe place, because for so long I was operating at this high capacity in the sympathetic nervous system of go, 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 go. I'm in survival mode because I have to provide, I have to make all this money because for what? And like, that was like the breaking point for me. I was like, why am I doing all this? I have a home, I have a happy marriage, I have all these things. Like, why am I killing myself for a cause I don't really believe in anymore?
Usually it's because there's like an idea, an expectation, you know,
that strong, independent woman, right?
That it's supposed to look that way. It looks like that. She has the corner office, the power car, the power. She has
because
a
she
team.
can.
Yeah, and just to prove that, and
Just to prove it, prove she can.
And it doesn't mean that you can't, like, you know, I bet if both of us decided to,
and that's not a bad thing either. I'm just throwing that out there either.
Absolutely. Because if we decided to be like, hey, we're no longer gonna, you know, Thursday afternoon be recording a podcast and we're gonna go get what my grandma would call a real job.
A real job? Oh my gosh. I get that all the time. That's a running joke in my family since I basically quit my high-paying corporate job to go be a yoga teacher. Everybody's like, well, when Shelby gets a real job again, I'm like, oh my gosh. Thanks, guys.
My goodness.
That's so funny.
But it doesn't mean that we can't do it. Like it just can't do it. And if you're doing it, more power to you, as long as you're happy. As long as you're happy in that role. But if you are depleted, your health is plummeting.
You got a low vibe.
You got a low vibe going on. You're in the enlightenment scale of like -20. Girl, it's time to, you know, reconsider.
Raise that vibe, girl.
Look at it. Do things that make you feel good. And if you're not doing it already, just like go find some movement. Go outside.
Ooh, yeah. So many tools there. Like in this state of change too. How did we get here? We're talking about feminine and masculine, whatever. But yeah, like when you're faced with those like that polarity of like it's time for change, like sometimes that means you have to enter into the masculine a little bit further than you want to, right? Like you use the energies. Like it's unrealistic to think that you're just going to be at that middle balance, harmonious place of, you know, perfectly balanced feminine and masculine energy. That's not realistic all the time. Like sometimes you need to wholeheartedly push yourself into the masculine to get it done, right? And then sometimes, like in the winter months, we want to, you know, be recluses and kind of fall back into that feminine energy. And honestly, just talking about how we're able to do that is such a privilege.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
we need both.
We need both.
We need both.
Moral of the story, long roundabout. We need both of these things. But because it's a buzzword, again, it's exaggerated so hardcore, and like having that discernment of like, first of all, here's what it is, here's what the sacred energies, you know, the feminine masculine energies are, but also having that discernment of like who you're getting your guidance from.
Absolutely. Right? And I was about to say that. I was like, the most important thing today with these buzzwords is like use your discernment.
Yeah.
Biggest thing.
Yeah. Like, Yeah, just do your homework of who you're getting this information from, including us. Go ahead, Google us. You probably won't find that much stuff, but hey, like,
Oh, God.
oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. All right, moving on. Oh, living your truth.
Oh, what does living your truth mean to you?
Okay, immediately just alignment,
Yeah.
right? Like living in alignment with your purpose. So truth, purpose, dharma, Alwyn, whatever you practice, it all comes down to your purpose, right? So you're living your truth, living in alignment with who you are meant to be. That's what living your truth means to me, of making, aligned decisions towards your highest good and what's going to leave the biggest impact on other people.
Oh, I love that. I don't think I have much to say with that because you nailed it. Also, when you said living your truth, in an image of me in pajamas, like really cozy, watching like a Christmas movie at like 3 p.m., cozy up with my cat.
At 3 p.m.
With some tea, popcorn, some
Popcorn.
s'mores. I don't know. That's living my truth right there. Some cacao. My husband cooking in the kitchen while I do nothing.
Yes.
He's going to listen to these like, oh, that is literally like your afternoon, woman.
That was yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. All I can think about is being in a really big bathtub. I read a lot of like fantasy novels and stuff, and there's always like there's always a huge bathtub.
I want one.
I want one of those bathtubs where I just can honestly like swim in it if I wanted to, and just I'd be in there all the time.
I would love a big bathtub. The one we have, my husband's like, this is like a standard bathtub. It's like I barely fit in
You're
this
pretty tall
one.
though. You got long legs.
Yeah, I'm all like,
your legs sticking out of the top.
Yeah, well, I'm all like, knees are bent. I can't extend. That's the thing. I can't. If I extend my legs, I'm all like sitting up straight.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all like, well, now I'm cold.
Yeah. It's like pick what part of your body's gonna be cold.
Yes, you're like in fetal position, to the right, to the left, kind of trying to sink in so your part of your butt is not leaking up and making you cold.
Okay, are you a bubble person?
I'm not a
Me
bubble
neither.
person.
I want to be, so I force
know.
myself. And then I get mad. Because I'm like, now I have to go take a shower, basically.
Yeah, I'm people. So before we moved to Fallbrook, it's a funny story. So before we moved to Fallbrook, we lived down in San Diego and we did not have a tub. And I used to go to my mom sometimes to take a bath because she had a tub. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's just like, I want a tub so bad. Or anytime we were at a hotel, I'm like, I need to take a bath. My husband was like, do you know how many people have us there? I'm like, I don't care. I need a tub. So when we move and we were, we have this tub, and I love that our tub is separate from our shower. Well, I should say, nice. I used to think that I loved that our tub was separate from our shower, but then this is why I don't anymore. So,
because I want that desperately. So please tell me why I don't.
Well, I would like also to kind of rinse myself when I'm getting out of the tub. So now I'm all like, have to run like cold and naked to the shower. So I always tell my husband, turn on the shower for me while I still soak in my own stew a little warmer. And then when it's warm, I run. So which is, 2 steps and I'm there. But so that's the only reason why. But when I got my new home, and a lot of my clients, pretty much I build a relationship with my clients so they know everything about my life. And I'm like, I got a new home and it has a tub. So everybody started gifting me things that you can use in the tub.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So I got tons of those bath bombs.
Oh yeah.
And oils and herbs and like a little thing where you can like read and put in your stuff. It was so cute. Everybody was giving me, I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed and abundant in that way. Abundance, buzzword. So this is where the bubble. So I started using like this this bath bombs.
Okay.
And they were great. They were not bubbly or anything until one time. I was like, this smells so good. And it said like, what, effervescent, like a little bit. So I was like, maybe it's just gonna like do a little boop, boop, and that's it, right?
Little fizzy fizz.
Fizzy fizz.
Whatever.
That's what I thought. All right.
Oh my God.
So I put the bath bomb in the tub. I'm finishing up, putting my candles, my crystals, nice
you had
music.
a whole thing going.
Yes,
All
I'm gonna
right.
do it right. Takes me forever to fill out that tub. So
If he's taking a bath, so we see you tomorrow.
yes, and I was literally every day taking a bath. Like, it was my husband's like, oh, the water bill. So I put in this bath bomb. The thing is effervescent times a zillion.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
bubbling up almost like a witch's brew. Like
What?
and it's colorful.
It's like when you put Mentos in Coke.
Yes.
It just explodes.
Yes. It was just like I was a little nervous to get in.
no.
I was like, is the water now like boiling or something? And I was like, it smelled really good.
Who gave this to you?
And
Dude, is this
a friend.
like-
It was
kind
a
of friend is
friend. It was maybe she hates me and I did not know this.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't think so. We just went to lunch not too long ago. I'm gonna have to ask her next time I see her.
So that bath bomb like 8 years
It's
ago.
like, hey. So I get in and it was very colorful. It smelled really good. I think the smell is what drew me into actually making the decision of like get in.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm tired. I did all this work. I get in and I'm like, oh, okay, this feels good. And I also put a little bit of Epsom salt because Epsom salt cleanses everything. So I don't know if it maybe was a combination of the Epsom salt with this bath
Oh,
bomb.
you had a chemical reaction happening in that
Probably.
tub.
Well, okay. It was like blue color, purple, green,
Oh, whoa.
pink. And when I came out, I was like feeling really good in this tub. And I was like, okay, it's time to yell at my husband to turn on the water because I think I need to wash all this off, right? And so he comes in and does his thing, didn't think much about it. I go into the shower. I am all sorts of colors.
Oh, no.
It like adhered to my skin.
It stinged you?
I was just like a mosaic, or was it just
like a mosaic
tile.
tile. Like,
Just,
oh
I
my
was
God.
like, oh my gosh. So now I'm trying to like use the loofah to like
Scrub your skin off.
Yes. So
What?
it didn't stain too bad, but I was definitely a little different tones for a little while.
What about your hair? Did you get
But no, I didn't never get my hair in the
that's
water.
good. Oh, that could have been a disaster.
And no, wait.
Oh no. Oh no.
My tub used to be white. Now it's been a few years, so now it's it's not quite as pearly white as it used to.
No.
My husband was not very happy. He's like, that is so stained. I'm all like scrubbing. I'm still scrubbing.
Oh my God. That is crazy. What the heck was in
know.
that?
I don't even remember.
Red 40? Like what the heck?
Oh, ew. Oh, probably.
Did you get sick or anything after that?
No,
That's good.
not physically. I was just like, ugh.
That's so weird.
But yeah, so I have to be careful with I haven't used a bath bomb in a long time. I think I was just traumatized with that. PTSD from a bath.
That is so crazy. Oh my gosh.
Oh, goodness. So, okay, talking about living your truth.
I mean, right? Well, every experience we have projects us into the direction of our true purpose. So very relevant story.
I totally have forgotten about that.
That is super
Not
funny.
my tub.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, nice. Well,
Please bathe with caution.
bathe with caution. Read the ingredients on your bath bombs.
Oh my gosh.
If you become with one.
Yes.
Show your discernment. Okay. Anyways.
All right.
That's pretty funny. But yeah. Okay. So next buzzword, activation.
Activation.
I hear this word a lot.
But what does that mean now? We're here. Yeah, we're going to do an activation. I have a dear friend of mine who's also a podcaster, and she does this activation. Basically what they are, she calls it like divine feminine activations, and it's a meditation.
Yeah.
That's what she does. She makes them for people to raise their vibration, to shift their energy.
When I hear the word activation, so I use this word a lot actually. And hello, Tucker. Sorry, everyone. I don't know why my dog is very upset. It's because my house is haunted.
Oh, maybe because we said the word activation.
We activated him. He's got his little hair up and everything.
Tucker, activate.
I'm telling you, my house is haunted. Okay, anyways. So activate, like I use this word like cueing, like postures. Like, you know, activate your abdominal muscles, whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's like a physical, like action to take. But then I also think about it like on the metaphysical side, like the subtle body of like you're activating like dormant DNA, right? Like by redirecting your frequency, right? Or whatever it is, or like tone, like ohm, when you ohm, you're, you know, operating at 342 hertz. So it's like harmony, this, you know, sound of the universe. Like you're activating like a part of you like that, you know.
I always feel like activation, for me, it comes down to the baseline of the intention.
Okay.
Set,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm in
I like that.
with intent, I'm going to, you know, align my bandhas or just engage my bandhas or, you know, just for me, activation is when something is going to turn on.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. I like that.
Yeah. Just so it's like activate your wildest dreams. It's like, okay, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to do something that is going to make me turn on or wake up towards remembering what I want, what my dream life is or something like that. But also activate.
Sorry.
What do you think about?
My mind went totally into the gutter on that one, like hardcore. Because now I'm all thinking about like, you're in bed later and all I'm going to think about is the word activate and then I'm not going to be able to think of anything else. Sorry.
Activate.
I'm just going to start cracking up and Christian's going to be like, what is happening? Be like, ask D and then it's going to be over.
Oh my gosh, no. I don't want to be part of that.
Sorry, it's too late.
Oh,
it's too late.
Dang it.
Sorry,
Okay.
you're in now.
Activate. I say activate, all I think is about
I just ruined everybody's sex lives just now. All right.
Gosh, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that's active, but you hear it a lot in spirituality, like activate your sacred power, activate your, you know. And I guess each person can, what does that mean to each person individually? Right? What does that mean? Is somebody tells me, it's like, hey Dee, we're gonna do an activation in Joshua Tree, you know, under the midnight sky. And I'm all
what
like,
are we activating?
I know. Yeah. It's like, okay, perfect. I'm game, but what is the intention? What is it? What is it that we're activating? Am I receiving a download and I just don't know? Or what is which is so funny. Okay, segue, which we do a lot on this podcast. So I been reading this amazing book that is very popular out there. I don't even know if we can mention it or not, but anywho, it's a book and there's there's a book. There's a series of them and their new third one is coming out in like February. So figure it out. But
there's dragons
involved and fantasy and all that, or not. But I don't know. I went to bed. I am someone who tend to receive a lot through the night. Like I get a lot of downloads. Yeah, but I get a lot of when I first began in spirituality. I'm about to explain. Okay. So when I started spirituality, I would get a lot of like astral travel, and receiving downloads for me is just information that I would receive at night. Sorry, that I would receive at night, and I would wake up with like insights, but also with like I feel very exhausted. Anywho, so last night, I don't know, it's between this book and what's happening in my life. And I was like, I rarely go to bed with certain intentions of receiving through the night because I do receive a lot. So if anybody else out there is struggling with sleep, I would say when you go to bed, if you have a prayer or if not, have an intention of when you're going to go to bed, always ask for healing. For rest and healing. And that always helped to have a good night's sleep. So I've been going to bed with like my prayer at night and rest and healing because I don't want to receive nothing. But last night I was like, I want to feel my power. I want to go to bed. And I was like, I want to receive the download of my power. Show me what I'm capable of, you know, as the witch that I am and the astral being that I am. It was crazy. I am like falling asleep, just like beginning to fall asleep, and I feel all this energy in my back.
Whoa.
All the way from like the base of my spine. I just felt it in my back, which was the craziest thing, all the way to my head.
Whoa.
And I was like, I get when physical things happen to me, my first response sometimes is like, oh my gosh, I don't want to feel it. Okay, bye. But not anymore. But
Totally.
it would be
scary.
just, yeah, you know, it was like my
Foreign.
body.
Yeah.
Yes. But I was like, no, I'm just going to trust. I know where it's coming from.
You asked for it.
I asked for it. So I let it just come. It was super interesting. And I felt activated, right? This morning I woke up and I felt so good. And I was just like, all right, let's do this life. I'm here.
Whoa.
But I'm really curious to do it again tonight.
I love that. That's super. It's funny. As you were saying that too, I've been telling my students a lot lately, like I give them an opportunity to like, you know, set an intention for your practice or whatever. And I started saying just like out of the blue, like even if it's half a thought, or maybe it's not even a thought or a mantra or anything, maybe it's just a feeling. Like that can also be your intention. Like you don't have to have clarity all the time of this is the one thing that I want. This is the one thing that I want to feel, you know, like you don't have to have clarity to take action, to take aligned action or to, right. And I love that because like you're describing, you literally asked for like, show me what I'm capable of. They didn't really show you or right. They let you feel it.
Yeah. And I woke up with like a lot of insight. Like as soon as I woke up, I have this little ritual that I do. I like stretch my fingers and just begin to a lot of gratitude. And I felt all the messages kind of like just like boom, boom, boom coming through. By the time I got out of bed, I forgot.
That keeps happening to me. Oh my gosh. I had a dream last night and I desperately like somebody addressed me and said something. And it was like this word that I feel like was so important for me to know. And now I have no idea what that word was.
You have to ask for it again tonight.
Yeah.
That's why I figured I was like, okay, tell me all the things slowly. Give me plenty of time for me to write them down.
Let me remember it.
Yes.
You can also do that. I did a self-hypnosis for myself where like I recorded like I want a restful night's sleep and I want to remember my dreams so that I could write a dream journal. It works. It absolutely 100% works.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just ask and you shall receive, right?
I love that. Yay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So those are all the ones that we lined up, but I know we prepared some other ones. So do you have those that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I have divine.
Ooh.
Divine. There's a divine everything. Divine everything. In alignment, I was thinking of those words like
Divine and alignment.
Divine and alignment and enlightening. Enlightenment. Yeah. And so I thought of those. And which ones do you have?
I have like phrases and so many like
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm actually gonna grab this. As I wrote them on the back of this paper that we're looking at. So I actually wrote down a bunch of alignment was one of mine. But ascension.
Oh yeah. Ascension.
Like you always see like, oh, let's ascend or we're ascending. And it's like, okay, so we're going up. So we're going to heaven. Is that what that's supposed to mean? Like what is this ascension? Like you're working your way up through the densities, like you're evolving.
I think that just means the shift in frequency, like you're shifting your frequency. It's so funny that you say that because, I don't know where my phone is, but in my website, I have something with the ascension. I can't remember, but I feel like the ascension of entrepreneurs and
I love
something
that,
like
the
that.
rise
The rise. Yeah. So for me, when I hear the word ascension, I feel like I'm going to rise. I'm going to shift my perspective into beginning to vibrate, to begin to emanate. And I know, vibration and frequency is like such a buzzword.
Yeah, totally.
But if we don't shift that,
Yeah.
there's going to be no change. So it's like, get used to it because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
There's my phone.
Oh, whoops. That's funny. Okay, so other ones are so starseed,
Oh yeah.
right? Like you'll hear that like
I never resonated
with the word
much with,
starseed.
yeah. Even at the beginning where you're like, okay, trying to get all the information in when spirituality, right, it's kicking in. It's like where I feel like I was trying to grasp what resonates. And I was like, it kind of resonates, but it doesn't resonate strongly for me.
Yeah. So what is a starseed? So a starseed is essentially like somebody, a soul that is not of this world originally. So like your soul, like past lives, you had past lives on a different planet as a non-human. And
that's what a starseed is.
Yeah. So that
so
your
we're all
soul,
pretty much starseeds.
I mean, essentially, maybe. I mean, maybe not. Like, but who's to say that not all like other races or whatever species of whatever didn't also live on Earth? You know what I mean? So yeah. So it's basically like, okay, like I did a past life regression, and I literally said before I even knew what any of this was that I was an Andromedan starseed.
Oh,
I should go back and listen to it, but I've listened to it like recently. And the stuff that I was saying at the time, it was just like so crazy. Like I didn't have any conscious knowledge of this stuff that I was saying. And it was so wild. It was like, didn't even sound like my voice. It was so crazy, but that's what I said. So I went down this deep like rabbit hole after that regression of what the heck's a starseed? Like,
okay. So a starseed, you can be of any planet. You can be a starseed of any planet. Okay.
Yeah,
I
totally.
didn't know.
Yeah, there's a lot there too. Like a different species, like a lot of people on Earth right now are Pleiadian starseeds. Like there's like a lot of different races all over the place, all over the planets, all over the galaxies, even in our galaxy and beyond, right? That your souls are, you had past lives there and your souls are now projected in a human body. So it's like you're just living a human experience now.
Love that. I think it would be important for all of us to really understand that we are souls, energy, frequency, having a human experience.
Yeah, we are sentient beings having a human experience. Totally. Like this meat suit is just our vessel. It's just a vessel for our souls, right?
But
like,
I love it.
Yeah, right? And that's our job here on planet Earth, right? We're meant to be in love with our bodies, and we're meant to have this human experience and experience emotions, right? And learn. Like I love the concept of Earth School,
Me
right?
too.
That we're all here to learn.
But see, this is where I feel we get trapped, where we're here to learn. It's like, yes, we love it. And then we get so caught up on what is. And it's like, what is just is. Yeah. Life just is. We give it the purpose. We give it.
Everything is nothing and nothing is everything.
Yes. And everything is everything at the same all at once.
All at the same time. Yeah. Agreed. Totally. Okay. So yeah. And then, cosmic.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one. And then the last one that I had was cryptid, just because I had to throw something else in there. Yeah. I had to throw in some paranormal fun stuff. Cryptid. I love it. So cryptids are like to like describe different like supernatural creatures like Bigfoot or Mothman. Like those are all cryptids. They're like like species of creatures.
Okay. I love that.
I love that. Christian loves that word because I'm like, I watch Discovery Channel and like all kinds of crazy stuff all the time. So I'm watching all these like documentaries about Bigfoot or whatever. And he's just like, oh, is that a cryptid? He's like obsessed with that word. It's Mercury and Gatorade and cryptid. Those are like Christian's two favorite words.
And cryptid. I love that.
It cracks me up.
I absolutely love that.
What else did you have? Anything?
I think I just had those. I couldn't think of anything else. I think this was we had a lot.
That's a lot of good ones.
A lot. Yeah.
What's the most like outlandish, like ridiculous concept that you just like can't get behind?
Regarding buzzwords or things that people have said that
just like in general, just like buzzwords
or like Bigfoot. I couldn't get around Bigfoot. Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's the one thing that comes to mind. Well, not that I think I can get behind pretty much anything. Like nothing is for certain, right? But one thing I've been super curious, well, other than like the black holes and stuff, it's I think it's in Scotland, but where the
Are you going to say you don't believe in Loch Ness Monster right now, or we're not going to be friends?
No, not that I
Nessie is real.
No, not that I don't believe it. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like that's more of like a portal.
Ooh, okay. I can get behind that.
Like, I think somebody saw like Nessie the monster, but I was like, they probably saw something else and they didn't know how to describe it. And the best description they have, it was like this.
A monster.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm all like, I don't know what I cannot get behind.
Okay, I'll tell you. One thing I cannot get behind is the whole flat earth concept.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot get behind the flat earther thing.
I keep forgetting that that's a thing. So,
No.
yeah, I can't, I don't know. I just don't, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that because I never think about it.
Yeah, it's like that's
But
not
the flat
even
earth,
close to real to me.
the flat earth, yeah. Somebody was telling me something, trying to convince me, semi-recently, I think it was, I can't remember who I was talking to, but they were talking about the flat earth. Was it my husband? Dang, is he a flat earther?
Oh no,
I don't think so. I
That'd be really
he's probably
funny.
gonna scream at me.
like how dare you accuse me of that?
I know.
I know.
Well, everything is possible. I just say, but I don't see something like that. I don't know. You know, now that we know that we did not go to the moon and all this other
Wait,
stuff.
what? We didn't go to the moon?
Oh, did you not see that it came out? Okay, that may be another episode.
Really? Oh, God, I gotta go on the internet.
Well, yeah, they were like all this. But see, that's the thing. Like, what do I know? What do I listen
What's
for
even
sure?
real
What is
anymore?
real?
I'm
Yeah.
having a crisis over here now.
It was just, you know, it's in the 60s, right? And then 1969. And everything was, the special effects were not the best. And I don't know. Sometimes I was telling my husband that we send people like out to space. I'm all air quotes. We send people out to
Is
space.
space even real?
Is space even? No, but I told him that one time I had this vision that we're all here on like planet Earth in cocoon, and then rockets will go out, like spaceships, right? Like we will send out people out into a certain layer of
Interesting.
the universe, and they'll see all these things. But I feel like above that layer, there's like all this war and other things like cosmically happening.
Like Star Wars.
Like
up
Star-
there? That's a fascinating concept. Like this tiered kind of system of like realities, like almost like atmosphere. I think of like, you know, like the different atmosphere.
Yes.
Like,
and
whatever.
like the James Webb space telescope went up, and actually he has a friend whose brother worked on the James Webb.
Oh, wow.
And so he's like, I know it went up. My friend saw it, went with him, and blah, blah, blah. And when I see all these pictures that NASA puts out, and they're beautiful and things that some of them for me just don't seem real. I don't know. They'll say like, this is the, and I'm just like, some of them do. I was like, oh man, that like I feel that picture. I can feel, I can taste that. Some of them I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really good with
just-
your AI. Working.
I don't know what to believe.
I know.
You know, I don't know where I stand there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever. What it is, and they're beautiful pictures.
Either way,
Just like,
either way, they're fascinating.
and it's just like they catch an alien and they're like, oh no, we better post this instead of that.
That's probably exactly what happened.
No, just
Oh, I love that. Yep. Yeah, so we went, that was a lot. I went a roundabout way through all those fun buzzwords, but what buzzwords do you secretly love?
alignment. I do use vibration and frequency. I do use the word manifest in the sense of like, hey, things will manifest in a different, not in the way of like, you can manifest anything necessarily. Like I do, but not. I don't think I use that one that much.
What do you take like way too seriously?
Probably frequency and vibration.
Yeah, me too. I get like super riled up when people like don't get on board with like sound freaking frequency and stuff. I'm like, what do you mean? Like the Wi-Fi is just magic, but you can't believe like what? Like I take it way too seriously, like way too seriously.
Yeah, I don't know if I take any of this too seriously, like with like that. I'm more like, because they're like, I don't believe it. I was like, hey, sure.
Yeah.
Or if it's a client, it's like, yeah, I want to work with you and, change, kind of teach me how to, shift my perspective. And I let them know, hey, we're going to work on these steps. And if they can't get on board with, like, I'm like, we're going to try to see where you are energetically. And energy is the other one I use.
Energy.
So where you are energetically, how you're feeling, how you're vibing, what's your frequency. And if they're like, I don't believe in that, then I can't work with you.
Yeah.
So because
I feel like energetics gets kind of moved around. Like I think that's a new and up and coming word that I've been noticing of like people like starting their businesses. Oh, I'm this energetics. I'm like, what? You mean you're a Reiki practitioner? Like,
I know. Yeah.
Why do we have to do that? We have to like make ourselves sound like.
Yeah, but the thing with that even is like I'm practitioner, a Reiki practitioner, Reiki master practitioner, but I don't even like use that word because I feel like it evolves so much more to like energy healing.
Yeah.
Like I do perinatal and postpartum energy therapy and energy healing. And I think because for me, I'm like, okay, it just extends way further than like the Reiki, where Reiki came from.
Yeah.
It's like way before
sense,
Jesus Christ times. So I think that's where, for me, it's just like, oh, energy worker. But sometimes people tell me, hey, are you a Reiki practitioner? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not mad with it at all. That's where I started. But energy work, and energy works in different ways. So.
Yes, very different ways, right?
guess.
Totally. I love it. Well,
Okay.
So earlier I asked you to give me like a bunch of different words, right? Like nouns and adjectives and stuff. Remember?
Yes.
Okay, and I did it because I made a Mad Libs game with our spiritual buzzwords. Okay. So I'm going to read it right now.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be.
Okay, so earlier before we started recording, I asked Dee for like a bunch of different words. Remember Mad Libs? Like you would get those like on long road trips or on airplanes or whatever, and you would play.
They were so fun and silly.
They're so silly. So I just thought this would be really fun to do.
Because they're all theme also. Like a lot of them are theme on something. So it's our theme on spirit on
so
buzzwords.
Like spirituality, like themed Mad Lib. Okay, so I'm gonna read it. So I asked for a body part, a couple of nouns, some adjectives, some emotions, buzzwords, nouns. Okay, so you're gonna figure out like.
Okay.
Obviously, you're gonna know which words were yours, but just listen to this. So this is what we came up with. Okay, close your knees and take a deep breath. Feel your river align with the fluffy, enlightened release all sadness. And open yourself to the infinite divinity of outer space. I kind of like that one. Let your tongue vibrate at the frequency of alignment. And thank your fields for its guidance and smudge your fingers.
Oh my gosh. And smudge your fingers.
I mean, honestly, your fingers touch a lot of stuff all day. You probably should.
You do.
Oh my gosh. But that one of like, to the infinite divinity of outer space. That's
really good. That's really good.
Infinitely divine. I will say. I just thought it was really funny.
That was really funny. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh.
Just like if we take stuff too seriously, and like full disclosure, like I say 90% of these buzzwords probably every day of my life.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly believe in most of this stuff, right? But if you take yourself too seriously and you can't laugh, like what's the point of having this human experience?
I know. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take it too seriously. We laugh at it. We use them.
Yeah. Exactly. So
I love this.
So that was fun.
Yes.
Buzzwords are interesting. And I would love to hear from our listeners, anybody else watching too, like what buzzwords do you want to hear about? Like what do you use? What are some crazy concepts that you guys have come up with? Please send us an email, which is whopodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear from you for sure.
Absolutely.
Let's hear all the weird and crazy and cool stuff that happens.
And follow us on the medias. We're on IG. And we'll be in other places as well. I don't know by how we.
By the time we launch this, we'll have other things up.
Yes, which is Who Podcast. We would love for you to say hello and, just to connect with all of you. So thank you. Thank you so much. And tune in. Stay curious. Besitos. Bye.
Peace.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to follow us on social media at Witches Who Podcast.